My Lord and honorable members of this commission, I was summoned in respect of petition number 1364. I have not been indicted by Chief Ezeogo's petition in any way. Therefore, my understanding is that the summon is to enable the commission obtain my testimony on my role as an investigator to clarify gray areas on the case where necessary. My Lord, an impression has been created before this honorable commission by one of the learned counsels to the effect that my investigation report was completed within 2 hours. The imputation here, in my opinion, is that it was a teleguided investigation. My Lord, I would like to make it abundantly clear ab initio that such a thing is never done and was never done with Major Adeka, anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
They say a lie travels fast, but the truth travels further. In this episode, Major Adeka, an intelligence officer who worked with Colonel Ezeogo and Colonel Stephen Idehenry, is summoned to the witness box to say all he knows about the Chuma and Zerebe petition. According to his testimony, he was the investigating officer when it was discovered that the Chuma and Zerebe case was a setup and officers from the intelligence unit might have played a part in it. His testimony is direct and concise, and it seems to unsettle his former boss, Colonel Idehenry. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next video.
I, Major Muhammad Ibn Omar Adeka, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this honorable commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Allah.
Please briefly tell the honorable commissioners your full names, address, and what you do for a living.
My names are Muhammad Ibn Omar Adeka. I am a major in the Nigerian Army.
Where are you serving presently?
I'm currently serving at the Training and Doctrine Command, Mina. That's Tradoc.
Where were you serving as at July 1997, between July 1997 and 1998?
As at July 1997, I was the General Staff Officer Grade 2 at the Directorate of Military Intelligence, Lagos, in charge of training and operations.
Yes, you were summoned before this commission in respect of the petition presented by one Chief Chuma and Zerebe.
Yes.
You have read the petition?
I have.
You have also heard the evidence of the witnesses before the commission, particularly Colonel Steve Idehenry.
Yes, I do.
And Colonel Ezeogo.
Yes, I have.
Now, what do you know about this matter? Can you tell the commission briefly what you know about the matter?
Yes, I have a brief written testimony I would like to read through.
Hello, we apply to tender his written testimony.
SB 25. Mark it, then give him to read.
I would like to crave the indulgence of the commission to clarify one point, to sort out one impression.
Before reading or after reading?
Before reading, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. The last witness, Colonel Ezeogo, noted that I had just come from the signal corps, and therefore I was not supposed to know the rudiments of investigation, and that was probably why I was just brought in to submit a useless report. I want to inform this commission and everybody that I served 10 years in Signal Corps, and not only Signal, in every military establishment, the procedure for investigation is there. It's not only in the intelligence corps that you carry out investigation. Board of Inquiry requires investigation, and it is done in every military establishment. That is one. Number two, as of July 1997, I had not just come to the Intelligence Corps. My posting to the Intelligence Corps took effect from February 1994. So I had spent at least 4 years at the headquarters of Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps before this event. Thank you, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Fast.
A submission to the Human Rights Violations Investigation
Please
Commission.
go to the body. Yes.
Okay. Introduction. My Lord and honorable members of this commission, I was summoned in respect of petition number 1364. I have not been indicted by Chief Nzeribe's petition in any way. Therefore, my understanding is that the summon is to enable the commission obtain my testimony on my role as an investigator to clarify gray areas on the case where necessary. My Lord, an impression has been created before this honorable commission by one of the learned counsels to the effect that my investigation report was completed within 2 hours. The imputation here, in my opinion, is that it was a teleguided investigation. My Lord, I would like to make it abundantly clear ab initio that such a thing is never done and was never done with Major Adeka, anytime, anywhere, anyhow. My investigation lasted about 5 days, from 23rd to 28th July 1997. However, I occasionally briefed appropriate authorities verbally on findings that required immediate actions. The first time I gave such a verbal briefing was after the first 2 hours from the commencement of the investigation on 23rd July 1997. Your Lordship may wish to note that most of the witnesses who have testified in the case at hand, that is Brigadier General Sabo, Colonel Majo Yegbe, and Colonel Ida Henry, were not only my senior colleagues, but my commanders at various times. Military ethics demand that I respect them, even in their retirements. However, this will not be at the expense of essential clarifications. Therefore, if I must speak before this commission at all, then I must speak the truth. Since truth is neither a friend nor an enemy to anybody, I should not be praised or blamed by anyone for whatever I say. Each and every one of us has conscience, and our conscience will judge us. I would like to apologize to the hundreds of thousands of those within and outside this arena who might have been waiting anxiously to listen to the graphic details of my detention and torture. This is because while I hasten to confirm the veracity of these claims, as earlier noted before this commission, I have no intention to discuss anything about the entire episode. My Lord and honorable commissioners, I have not come here to praise or castigate anybody. Hence, I will be petition specific as demanded by the honorable chairman. It is also noteworthy, my Lord, that my investigation was only concerned with the initial arrest and detention of Chief Chuma Nzeribe for about 5 days, from 18th to 23rd July 1997. Thus, his rearrest and detention with the effect from 1st September 1997 is outside the scope of this submission. Aim. The aim of this submission, therefore, is to help clarify essential gray areas on petition number 1364 as they concern my investigation. Scope. My submission will cover the following. A. Some exaggerations in the petition. B. Relevant aspects of my investigation. And C. Significance of Army Headquarters' legal decision on the case, beginning with exaggerations. It is observed that the petition of Chief Chuma Nzeribe, hereinafter referred to as the petitioner, contains some obvious mix-ups and exaggerations which require clarifications. This might not have been a result of sheer vindictiveness or malice on the part of the petitioner. They could have resulted from basic ignorance due to the limit of information at his disposal. Therefore, effort will be made to straighten out some of these inaccuracies in the paragraphs below. The Directorate of Military Intelligence officially became aware of the arrest of the petitioner as a result of the inquiry made by Captain C.O. Ifebuzo of the Nigerian Navy on 23rd July 1993. This triggered off my preliminary investigations. 1997. This triggered off my preliminary investigations as against a report by a camp commandant claimed in paragraph 1 of the petition. The petition seeks to create an impression to the effect that the setup and initial arrest of the petitioner were DMI sponsored operations as contained in paragraph 2 and 3 of the petition. This is not true. The setup and arrest of the petitioner were orchestrated and executed by individuals with no evidence of official backing. The petitioner's kinsmen in Ihiala, spearheaded by Chief Victor Okafo, alias Ezeogo, hatched the plot. There was never a time Captain Makama issued bombs to Colonel Majoegbe for an operation against Major Koroma of Sierra Leone in May 1997, as claimed in subparagraph 4.1 of the petition. The Special Operation Team most probably became aware at a stage that the bomb allegations were a setup, but such a disclosure was never made to me by Lieutenant Colonel Okosun at any time, as noted in subparagraph 4.4 of the petition. There was never a time in history when an armory was looted at the Directorate of Military Intelligence, as alleged on page 20 of the news magazine of 18th August 1997 attached to the petition. Next is the investigation. It is clear from the evidences adduced in earlier submissions before this commission on this petition that there is consensus in most aspects of the Ihiala operation. These aspects include the fact that the petitioner was framed up, arrested, and detained for about 5 days before his first release. The plot was hatched by his kinsmen in Ihiala, who also, most probably acting alone, planted the explosive materials in his uncompleted building. Some personnel of the Directorate of Military Intelligence got involved in the arrest and detention of the petitioner without regard to due procedures. The only important aspect which still remains a major gray area is the issue of authorization. I will therefore delve into this all-important aspect in an effort to assist this honorable commission arrive at the truth. Authorization. My Lord, I consider authorization in this case as the crux of the matter. That is, did the acting director of military intelligence, Colonel Idehere, authorize the Ihiala operation or not? In actuality, this was the high point of my investigation. As soon as it was established that some personnel of the Directorate of Military Intelligence had conducted an unauthorized operation on 23rd July 1997, rumors, insinuations, half-truths, half-falsehoods, and witness claims all combined and held me hostage to the effect that Colonel Idehere had authorized the operation. However, my Lord, a critical analysis of the above sources traced all of them to Colonel Majoegbe as the only tangible source. It therefore became imperative that my investigation must establish whether Colonel Idehere had actually authorized the operation or not. Otherwise, the outcome of the entire investigation will be virtually worthless. My predicament. My Lord, here was Major Adeka with the odious task of separating the chaff from the grains in respect of two of his most senior officers in the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps, one of whom was the acting director of military intelligence. For the major, the odds were obviously grave indeed. Therefore, I had to ensure that the principles of objectivity, fair play, justice, and morality, as well as the ethics of duty and responsibility, guided me. The objective was to ensure that neither of the colonels suffered vicariously as a result of the outcome of my investigation. My Lord, I am grateful to Almighty God that I still stand by what I did 4 years ago as an investigator. I had three options. The first was to subject the senior officers to the rigor of interrogation. The second option was to just gloss over the crucial issue of authorization. Finally, I could always resort to using the number 6. Option 1, interrogation. In order to interrogate the senior officers, I would need orders from a superior authority. In the case of Colonel Idehere, who was the acting director of military intelligence, such authority did not exist within the Corps. As for Colonel Majoegbe, since my investigation was at the instance of the acting director of military intelligence, I could derive the power to interrogate him. However, since the acting director of military intelligence was also a suspect at this stage, as far as I was concerned, I considered such derivative power morally unacceptable. Hence, the interrogation option was dropped. Option 2, glossing over authorization. My Lord, I could dodge the knotty issue of authorization by merely recommending its resolution to a higher authority. However, from my appreciation of the problem, it was clear that whichever authority was given the task of sifting the chaff from the grains on the matter will have a hard nut to crack. I therefore considered this option an abdication of responsibility, though it was also dropped. Option 3, using the number 6. My Lord and Honorable Commissioners, there are 5 senses corresponding to the human faculties of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. In military parlance, there is a 6th sense, usually understood to mean the personal initiative of an individual. My Lord, I consider the use of initiative to be one of the most important weapons of war. Therefore, in my predicament, I decided to resort to the exercise of initiative and prayed for God's guidance. After a rigorous meditation, my Lord, I settled for a test for the 2 senior officers. The test was designed such that their actions and reactions will provide at least a leeway to determine whether the Ihala operation was authorized by the acting director of military intelligence or not. Now the test. Colonel Idehere was to be advised to adopt the following recommendations and issue out a written directive accordingly. A, declare the Ihala operation illegal. B, Colonel Majoegbe to discontinue all investigations on the case. C, all detainees to be released immediately. D, Chief Ezeogo to be invited for a chat. It was thought that the actions and reactions of the 2 senior officers to this test will assist in determining the very important issue of authorization. Expectations. My expectations were as follows. A, Colonel S. Idehere. Colonel Idehere will most probably refuse to commit some or all of the recommendations into writing if he had evidently authorized the operation. This will be in anticipation of possible consequent response from Colonel Majo Yegbe. B. Colonel O. Majo Yegbe. If the acting director of military intelligence issued the above directives in writing, it was expected that Colonel Majo Yegbe will evidently respond in writing with proof of authorization, if any. The results, my lord, the results of the above tests were as follows. A. Colonel S. Idehere. Colonel Idehere accepted all the above recommendations and directed Lieutenant Colonel F.E. Okosu to issue out the written directives immediately. This was done on 23rd July 1997. B. Colonel O. Majo Yegbe. There was no official response from Colonel Majo Yegbe for 5 days before I signed my report on 28 July 1997. However, it was discovered on 24 July 1997 that Colonel Majo Yegbe had unsuccessfully tried to surreptitiously register the alleged petition which triggered off the Ihala operation at about the time the operation was declared illegal. That was on 22nd or 23rd July 1997. C. Implications of the results. It is instructive to note that the alleged petition was dated 9th July 1997 and was supposed to have been received latest by 14th July 1997 when preparation for the operation commenced. Why did the colonel have to wait until 22nd or 23rd July 1997 to make the unsuccessful attempt to surreptitiously register the alleged petition? Even after the failed attempt, he kept the petition instead of delivering it to the central registry. My lord, the implication of this result is that Colonel Majo Yegbe was aware that the correct procedures had not been followed for whatever reasons. This will render his actions irregular. That was why he tried to regularize one of the key procedures, though unsuccessfully. Finding, my lord, to the best of my objective analysis, the above test revealed that the Ihala operation was evidently unauthorized by the acting director of military intelligence, Colonel S. Idehere. Moral courage, honor, and integrity. My lord and honorable members of this commission, professional ethics demand that military officers exhibit moral courage in order to safeguard their honor and integrity in all circumstances. Thus, one would expect any officer who got involved in the planting of explosive materials, or arrest in this case, through genuine mistakes, to own up and apologize to the extent of his involvement. It is in this light that I will want to close this segment of my testimony with paragraph 2 of the submission made by Captain F.B.Y. Dulaga, the officer that led the personnel of the Directorate of Military Intelligence who arrested the petitioner before this honorable commission. And I quote, "The allegation of Chuma Nzeribe is totally false but not baseless. Meanwhile, I understand the fact that the overstatements, exaggeration, and in some cases, outright falsehood in his petition were born out of the pain and trauma of the unpleasant experience he went through. I therefore say before this honorable commission that I sincerely regret my involvement in this. I make this submission with a sense of goodwill." Unquote. Emphasis are mine. Now, Army Headquarters legal decision. It is instructive to note that my investigation report was never forwarded to Army Headquarters. On the other hand, Colonel F.O. Omenka's report that was forwarded to Army Headquarters had a finding that was opposed to mine in respect of authorization. Nevertheless, as already demonstrated with an exhibit before the commission, the Army headquarters' legal decision on the case was in line with my finding as given above. My Lord and honorable commissioners, the implication of this coincidence is that the facts of this case are very clear and straightforward to any unbiased mind that has respect for the rules of evidence and, by extension, the rule of law. In conclusion, my Lord, I have informed this honorable commission that an unauthorized arrest and detention of the petitioner was reported at the Directorate of Military Intelligence on 23rd July 1997. Based on Colonel S. Ideheren's directive, as the Acting Director of Military Intelligence, I conducted a preliminary investigation which established that the allegations against the petitioner had no basis. Thus, his arrest and detention were irregular. Consequently, he was released with immediate effect, and genuine efforts were made to bring the suspects to book. My Lord and honorable members of this commission, I would like to use this opportunity to stress a very important point. The Directorate of Military Intelligence is not a monster as being perceived by the outside world. As an organ of the Nigerian Army, it is a very highly procedural and professional organization. Individuals who acted outside the confines of accepted procedures under any guise should be encouraged to accept full responsibility and apologize where necessary. I wish to thank your Lordship for my appearance before this honorable commission. I hold this commission at a very high esteem to the extent that I see in its proceedings a mirror of what may happen on the day of judgment, where justice and equity will prevail over injustice and miscarriage of justice, and truth shall prevail over falsehood. Thank you, sir. Signed, MIU Adeka, Major. That's all, my Lord.
My Lord, that's all for him.
Do you intend to do law after this?
No, sir.
Yes. Any cross-examination?
Major Adeka. Is it Major?
Yes, my Lord.
When were you ordered to investigate this matter by Colonel Idere?
I was ordered to investigate this matter at about 10 o'clock on 23rd July 1997.
1997.
Correct, my Lord.
How soon did you turn up your report?
I have explained. Actually, the counselor I referred to was you. There was an impression created to the effect that my report was turned in after 2 hours. That is not possible. My investigation lasted about 5 days. But whenever there was a finding which required immediate actions to follow up, I will brief the appropriate authorities. The first time that I offered such a verbal briefing was after 2 hours from the commencement of the investigation.
Why did you, or what was your report within the 2 hours?
I have already told you that was the basis of this test.
That
it was a setup.
That was a setup.
That's right.
Did Colonel Idere inform you he traveled to Suru?
I didn't need to know that. Neither did he inform me.
That he traveled to Suru?
Yes.
He did not inform you?
No.
Okay. When did he tell you he got to know of the operation?
I have told you that a Navy captain by the name Captain C.O. Ifebuzo of the Nigerian Navy reported and made an inquiry formally in writing.
Okay. You did say in the report you read that you gave Colonel Ezeogo 5 days to respond, and he did not respond.
I didn't say I gave Colonel Ezeogo 5 days. I gave both of them 5 days.
5 days.
To watch their actions and reactions.
When did you give him the request to respond within 5 days?
I didn't have to give them. That's why I call it a test. If I told them, they would not give me natural response.
No, wait, we are not fighting. What I want to let you know is this.
Thank you, my Lord.
When did you give him? Was it on the 24th or 25th or 26th?
The directives were issued out in writing on
when?
23rd July 1997.
Are you aware that Colonel Ezeogo was in Kaduna for some time?
He was not in Kaduna that time. He was in town. He was in Lagos.
When did he travel to Kaduna? Or did you know he traveled to Kaduna?
I didn't know them, but from the evidences before this commission, we were told that he traveled on 27th.
27th?
Yes.
To Kaduna?
Yes. And that was weekend.
Okay, you have said there was no authorization and the arrest itself was illegal and that the petition was not according to military rules. Can you just explain briefly what he needs to do?
Good. I will have to make some correction. I didn't say the petition was not in accordance with military rule because it was not written by the military. I said the procedure, due procedures were not followed. And what I meant by that is that in all military establishments, not just the DMI, all mails that come in, I wouldn't need to go into the details of mail handling, but all mails will have to be registered at the central registry. And the first person to see such a mail is the most senior commander in the unit, who as at this time was Colonel S. Idehere. So if the mail was not registered, or Colonel Idehere did not see it, we can equally say that it was not received by the Directorate of Military Intelligence.
Okay. You were serving at military intelligence then. Is it possible for officers to respond to investigation, to swing into action based on information? Is it possible?
Yes, you see, there is a military in peace.
Is it possible?
That one I'm going to tell you.
Answer me first.
It's possible in wartime.
It is possible in wartime?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But in peacetime, the routines are not the same. In peacetime, which to the best of my understanding, 1997 will be included, you are not